Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a Q&A video answering some of the questions you guys submitted to me down in my comment section. So before we begin, please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more content, and let's get started. So the first question I had here is, how much did you prepare in high school to get accepted to Harvard? Grade, SAT score, extracurricular, etc. Let's start with grades. I had really good grades. I was valedictorian in high school, so I would say had really good grades. I had a really good SAT score as well. And extracurricularly, I was involved in a lot of things in high school. I don't know how useful it would be to elaborate on that, but I don't think I was really outstanding in any one thing, but I guess I was kind of a well-rounded student. Next question. Whatever happened to the Stephan collab, and did you get more attention now when PewDiePie reacted or back then when it was still fresh and everyone still reacted? I think I probably got a wave. I probably saw a spike in my views after PewDiePie reacted for sure. A little bit of a different demographic, I think, from the initial wave of people from the original Stephan video or from the Jubilee video itself as well. But appreciate you all for watching the videos, for subscribing to my channel. Thanks guys for watching. At what age did you and your parents decide to migrate to the US for higher education through Harvard University? So I'm not sure if I'm understanding this question correctly, but my parents did not migrate to the US until after they were in their 30s, and then they did not go to college in the US. But they were in their 30s when they came, and I was born here but lived in China for a few years before coming back. So fun fact, my first language wasn't even English. I spoke Chinese, and it wasn't until I went to preschool and kindergarten that I started learning English. So Ryan asks, what kind of music do you listen to? So I listen to mainly R&B and rap, but I like all types of music. I think I generally am a big fan of like singer-songwriters, so if that gives you like a idea of what kind of music I listen to. Dickstick says, hey, just want to say that I love how your last Jubilee video went. Congratulations! Also, what will be your plans for your next videos? What type of content? BTW, looking forward to it. So how do I answer this question? I started off this channel as a fashion channel because that's one of my main interests, is fashion, and it's been like that for a while. It's probably like my main hobby, but as I saw my demographics shift, I kind of questioned myself a little bit, and I don't know, I'm kind of still figuring out what this channel is going to be, so stay tuned. But if you guys like the content I'm having, if you guys want to hear more from me, feel free to subscribe, and we'll shape this channel together. Vicky says, are you single? No, I am not. I am sorry. Tips on getting into the Ivy League / any elite college. I think depends on where you are in life or in school. If you're in high school, if you're middle school, I would probably have different tips. But the one universal thing I would say for you is to do well in school and do well in school. Favorite food. Okay, wait, hold on. This is a bunch of different questions in one, so this is kind of like cheating, but I'll start with the first one. Favorite food. I think my favorite food is sushi. Favorite candy. My favorite candy is... I think my favorite candy is Twix. Favorite aesthetic. I'm not so sure what that means. Maybe minimal? What season do you like the best? I like spring the best. The only thing I'll say is that I have really bad seasonal allergies, so I'd knock off a couple points just because of that. When was the last time you lied to your parents? Honestly, don't remember. I don't really have to lie to them. What phone do you have? I have an iPhone. What subjects do you like? In high school and middle school and stuff, I was always like a math and science person. I majored in biology in college, so maybe I'd say I'm a science guy. despite the fact that my career doesn't have to do much about that anymore. How long is your arm? It's about this long. What does your closet consist of? A lot of clothes. Too many clothes. Next question. How did you decide what you wanted to do after graduating from Harvard? I still don't know what I want to do after graduating from Harvard. And this is a good story actually, because this kind of goes into how I got into consulting in the first place. But the entire time I was in college, I wanted to be a doctor. I was pre-med. I majored in biology. I was really interested in becoming a doctor. But my junior year of college, I took a year off from school and I worked full-time at a hospital, where I worked directly with patients and physicians as a medical scribe. So that's the type of person who takes notes for doctors and puts in medication orders. And I was at a really big hospital, and I really got to see the day-to-day ongoings of a medical clinic and of a really busy hospital. And it was great. I really liked working with patients, working with physicians, and the sense of gratitude you get from helping people is second to none. But for me, I think at least what I was doing as a scribe, it was too much of the same every day. It was really monotonous. I felt like I wasn't being challenged, obviously. But even as if I put myself in the shoes of a physician, I didn't really see myself doing that for the rest of my life. And for me, it didn't really feel like a fulfilling career, even though I know for many, many people it is, and it really is an important career. So for me, it just wasn't the right fit. So I came back to Harvard, started my senior year. One of my closest friends at the time was a consultant, and I kind of saw her lifestyle, and I was like, you know what? It's really cool to be able to see a lot of different industries, a lot of different functions within different companies, to have a different, work with a different company, every few months or every case, to be able to, gain so much experience and kind of transfer that later on, whether that's in entrepreneurship or further on in corporate world. Kind of having that adaptable skill set was really important to me. So that's kind of why I chose to do consulting. Sorry if I kind of rambled on a little bit there, aesthetic maths, but that's kind of the answer to my question. I'm still deciding. Emily says, I'm curious to know your thoughts on community colleges. Do you believe the stereotype that those who go to community schools aren't as intelligent as those who go to Ivy League schools? I don't believe that. Some of my best friends went or go to community college. I think everyone has a unique situation that ultimately leads to them being in certain situations. A lot of my friends who went to community colleges could have easily been at an elite school. So I don't believe that stereotype at all. What sport do you think is the best? Okay, wait, this person commented another comment, Odelia, with another banger with all these questions again. So, okay, let's get started. What sport do you think is the best? If rock climbing counts as a sport, that's something I've been trying to get into a little bit more. I think it's a lot of fun when I go. Favorite book? I'm gonna answer the next question and this question together. Favorite book and favorite author? I think I don't necessarily have a favorite book, but one of my favorite authors is Malcolm Gladwell. Growing up, I read his books, and to this day, they're still really memorable to me and shaping the way I think. Maybe favorite book I would say is Grit by Angela Duckworth, which is another good behavioral psychology book about how working hard. Pet peeves. I actually don't really have any pet peeves I can think of. Maybe, I'm trying to think. I'll get back to you on that. How many toothbrushes do you have? I have one toothbrush. I have one of those electric ones. Your 5 favorite things in the world. These are some tough questions. My 5 favorite things in the world are my family, my family, my family, my family, my family. Okay. Do you like philosophy? I haven't had the chance to really study philosophy, so it's hard for me to answer that question. Do you spend enormous amounts of hours to study? I wouldn't say so. I think when I was in school, I never really pegged myself as a type of person who took a long time to study. If you want like specific numbers, maybe when I was, I mean, it spiked obviously. If I was like studying for a test, maybe I'd study like the day before for like 4 or 5 hours. And maybe on an average night, I might like work on homework and study for like another 3 or 4, if that helps. Ray, good name, says, how is it like working at consulting? Any pointers on how to enter a good consulting firm as a fresh graduate? So not sure what your background is or what your resume might look like, so it's hard to give you really tailored advice, but I like working in consulting. I'm learning a lot, and I would recommend it to a lot of people who are in my situation. But any pointers on how to enter a firm? I would say it depends on, if you're a fresh graduate, it probably means that you can't really attend in-school recruiting anymore. But pointers, I would say probably. Network really hard, reach out to people who might be second or third connections, and really try to get your foot in the door. And second thing I would say is probably just really get the nail down the case interview, crack that case interview, and just know it like the back of your hand. And so once you network and get your foot in the door, and then you show them that you can do the cases and that you can think in the way that the case interview requires you to think, then you're probably set. Alexa says, are you into stocks and crypto? If so, what are you investing in currently, and any tips? I do own stocks and I do own some crypto. I don't feel comfortable recommending any stocks or like picking any stocks for you guys, but I would say I'm a really passive investor. I think mutual funds or ETFs are the way to go for most people. The more risk, the more reward, of course, as you start picking stocks in crypto. But I think for most people, generally, a really broad index fund is the way to go. Iketa says, can you keep doing fashion videos? I actually really want to, and they're really fun for me. I mean, they're the reason why I started this channel in the first place. So maybe if there's enough people who want to know or want to see fashion videos, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe I'll start a second channel, or maybe I'll just make a fashion video every once in a while, like showing what I picked up. Lily says, what was your major in college? I was a neurobiology major and I had a minor in economics. If you wrote a book, what would it be about? I am definitely not qualified to write a book, and I'm definitely not a good enough writer to write a book, at least right now. How is it like at Harvard? That's a very difficult question to answer, and there are so many ways to answer that question, but I will try. The Harvard it's fine. It's a good school. One of my favorite parts about Harvard was the people I met, and to this day, they're some of the most impressive. Just everyone is at Harvard for a reason. I think. I don't think the admissions office at Harvard makes a mistake. So, I think Harvard is a really special place. Thunderpop said, if not Harvard, what were your other choices? I applied to Harvard and a couple other schools, but because I got into Harvard early, I just decided to go to Harvard. I think when I was discussing it with my parents when I was in high school as a senior, thinking about colleges, they really wanted me to go do it for them. I really wanted to go. I visited the campus and I was like, okay, I can really see myself here. So honestly, Harvard was my first choice. If not Harvard, out of the schools that I got into, there were a couple in California that I really like. I'm from California, so maybe I would have stayed in California. Don't take this the wrong way, but didn't you go to Harvard? Aren't you supposed to be solving real life problems instead of doing the same thing that 80% of you people are doing now, which is creating useless YouTube channels? No offense, just been curious. Don't worry, I'm not offended. I don't think that YouTube is useless or meaningless, and I don't think that just because you're a YouTuber, you're not uh, solving any real life problems. You're still putting stuff out there about you in the world, and whether that's, you know, providing 10 minutes of fun content for someone to enjoy on their lunch break, that means something to me as well. I think we have one more question here, one last question before we wrap up the video. Hey Ray, I was wondering if you had any advice for someone who didn't exactly prepare themselves for college and still figuring out what career choice they wanted. Obviously I'm still figuring that stuff out. I'm pretty young too, and I don't have everything figured out either. So I'll give you the best advice I can give from my position, without without all the wisdom that someone who's not me might have. But I would say try your hand at a lot of different things. And the more stuff you try, the more you'll understand and the more you'll know, okay, is this good for me? Because honestly, you can do the research, you can talk to people about it, but at the end of the day, if you haven't tried something, if you haven't really done it yourself, or if you haven't taken the time to learn the tools of the trade or learn that industry or learn that function of whatever you're interested in, or you might vaguely have an idea of like what you want to do, you're not gonna really know whether it's for you or not, honestly. So I'm sure everybody out there can find something that they'll really enjoy career-wise, but you just gotta try it. And that's what I genuinely think. One more quick thing. If you guys have any other questions for me down below, please ask them. I'll reply to your comments or I'll make another Q&A video. So subscribe and stay tuned, and thanks for watching.